With the ending of Shattered Veil and knowing in the next game, this year's latest Call of Duty Black Ops 7, we are getting the return of Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey alongside Richtofen. Not the Primus characters, not the Ultimus characters, but a slightly different version of them seemingly. After seeing the story in Shattered Veil unfold and witnessing the ending, it's got me thinking, how are we going to see these characters return? Unless these leaks turn out to be false. I mean, this info does come from a couple of pretty credible leakers, but you never know. However, looking at what's unfolding in the BO6 zombie storyline right now, with Sam attempting to reconstitute Samantha Max's body, which means to form again. If Sam is able to do that to bring back Samantha Maxis, then could it also be used in bringing back Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey? Because they are dead. In fact, they're more than dead, because in the old timeline, their souls were linked to the Aether, which was destroyed before they were banished to the Dark Aether. Looking at exactly what we were told about Primus's return in Black Ops 7, this is from Margwa Network over on Twitter. Insider Gaming reported, based on current sources who had been playtesting and had feedback sessions on the game, that an older version of Dempsey, Takeo and Nikolai are coming back. He goes on to further explain the story centers around a new antagonist who wants to absorb the Dark Aether essence of the 4 OG characters to bring back the multiverse. But the thing is, like I just mentioned, those old characters, whether it be Primus or Ultimus, all versions of Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, died. That was the whole point of what we did in Black Ops 4, to break the cycle and destroy the multiverse. And an integral part of that, you could say the most important, was the death of Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey. The whole point of Tag Toten was to bring an end to their storyline and for Treyarch to begin anew, like we saw in Cold War. The story arc of those characters was supposed to be finished, and the way Treyarch killed them off, they did that intentionally so that there was no possibility, there was no way the community could theorize ways they could return. It was supposed to be impossible. Unlike Dr. Monty, unlike the Shadow Man or the Transit characters, who were all banished to the Dark Aether alive, and because the Dark Aether still exists right now, there is the possibility they could return, and we have seen things that were banished to the Dark Aether come back, such as the Raygun Mark II, the Raygun Mark I. Well, so far we have only seen inanimate objects, not actual people. Treyarch left open the possibility of everyone who was still alive in the old timeline that got banished to the Dark Aether returning, including Dr. Monty. But that wasn't the same for Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, as you heard Samantha tell us in Tag Toten.
The 4 are connected to the Aether. Their souls are linked to it, interwoven and intertwined. If the universe were held together with tape and bit of string, they are that string. Pull the string, it all unravels. It falls apart. Richtofen did it. Then he forged the elemental shard. He bound their souls to the Aether. All versions connected, linked eternally to the infinite. Now they are one. They give each other life. The fate of one is tied to the other. The Aether, it knows it must keep them alive. It knows it must bind them to their existence. This corruption that has been spread through the universe. Then it was unleashed upon the earth. It had no way of knowing. It would be bound to the 4. Nikolai and the others, if they succeed. Element 115, the Keepers, the corruption, everything. It will be banished to the place below creation. The place of darkness. Alone is Dr. Monty.
Primus and Ultimus were connected through the Aether. Their souls were linked to it. This happened when Richtofen forged all of their souls to the elemental shard, which then bound their souls to the Aether, meaning the fate of one was tied to the other. If either one of them died, both would cease to exist. Going back to the final time we saw Primus and Ultimus in that Tag Toten ending cutscene, and just listening to what Nikolai told us.
The multiverse must come to an end. The paradox must be resolved. At least, it will be quick.
What are you talking about? We found the Agarvan device!
I know. And I'm so sorry.
Me too, Richtofen. We fought for what we wanted. We got more than we deserved. All the chapters of our lives, good and bad. Even if there was no witness, even if no one cared to see, it still happened somewhere. We fought the Great War over and over, but victory could never be ours. We were always doomed to fail. Monty told us the truth. Our journey is the very reason this madness exists. We are the ones who fractured the universe. This is the truth the Chronorium showed me. The truth Richtofen could no longer face. When we are gone, so too is everything that spewed forth from the Aether. Element 115, the Apothecars, even Monty himself. All of it will be banished to where it belongs. The Dark Aether. We should not be here. Our time has passed. But for all the pain and torment we have endured together, as we leave this life behind, it is my hope that you know one thing beyond any doubt.
Look away, Eddie.
The idea of Trot bringing them back diminishes the whole point of this ending and what we did in that game, Beyond Blood of the Dead, breaking the cycle. The whole point of it was they sacrificed themselves to destroy the multiverse, which in turn ended the zombie outbreak and gave the two children, Samantha and Eddie, a better life, the chance to grow up in a universe, a new one, free of the undead. I mean, you could say even that, the fact that we still have zombies existing now in Black Ops 6, the two children, Samantha and Eddie, have grown up and they haven't got that better life. They are still fighting zombies. Primus and Ultimus killing themselves to allow Samantha and Eddie to grow up having a normal life never happened. So you could even say the death of Nikolai Takeo and Dempsey and Richtofen was pointless anyway, because the children never got the better life Nikolai thought they would. Then again, maybe that was a pipe dream, it was inevitable, it was never going to happen, but putting that aside, they thought they were doing the right thing. This is what the Chronorium told them. The reason zombies even existed was because of Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey. It wasn't, okay, there are zombies and then we have these characters that are going to fight them. No, it was, we have these characters that have caused all of this and they are going to perpetuate it and then fix their own mess. It was these characters that fractured space-time. It was these characters that caused the paradox, ultimately leading to the zombie outbreaks. Nikolai's final words in the forest were, "Our time has passed. When we are gone, so too will everything that spewed forth from the ether. It will be banished back to it." Finishing with Samantha shooting Primus Nikolai in the head, and we see all of them are dead around the campfire, having been poisoned by him. This universe then collapses in, and all of it is banished to the Dark Aether before Sam and Eddie head to the new universe created by the Orgothan device in Cold War. But the dead bodies of Primus and Ultimus were banished to the Dark Aether, just like everything else. The difference with them, though, is they were soulless, which should mean, right, there was no possibility of them returning. But from the leaks, if they are coming back, then something's happened. Something is going to allow them to return. Something is going to bring them back. And right now in the BO6 zombie story, I would say there's a pretty similar situation going on, with Sam attempting to reconstitute Samantha Maxis's body from the Dark Aether. And actually, well, just take a listen to this quote from Grey in Shattered Veil.
Even if this prima materia stuff can regenerate Maxis's body, how can it regenerate her mind? Her soul?
The Sentinel Artifact manipulates time as well as matter. Her human software will be pulled from the past. She will be the woman you knew. Trust me.
She asked Sam, okay, if prima materia can regenerate Samantha's body, fine, but what about her mind, her soul? And Sam replied, the Sentinel Artifact can manipulate time as well as matter, so it can be used to pull her human software, her memories and soul, from the past into her body. If the Sentinel Artifact can do that for Samantha, then could that be the way we end up bringing back Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey? Okay, we've got their dead bodies in the Dark Aether, that's fine. We can reconstitute their bodies, that's no problem. But they had no souls. However, if the Sentinel Artifact can manipulate time, going back to the point where their souls existed, and pull them forward into their bodies, which would bring them back, is that what they're going to do? For me, there's a totally different question here, because of course their souls existed in a multiverse that was closed off, so whether it's even possible for the Sentinel Artifact to go back in time to a universe that no longer exists. Once it's closed off, can you go back past the point it was closed? I don't know if that's possible. We're being told by the leaks that the story revolves around an antagonist who wants to absorb the Dark Aether essence of Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey to bring back the multiverse, so their essence would need to be absorbed first in order to bring the multiverse back, not the other way around, not the multiverse being brought back first, resulting in their return. I mean, aside from that, there are so many other questions I could ask. Who is this antagonist that wants to absorb their Dark Aether essence? Who could it possibly be that would want to bring back the multiverse? It would have to be someone who had knowledge of it, right? Like Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man. Monty was still alive at the time he was banished into the Dark Aether. Whether or not he's still alive now, or at the very least still exists in the same form he did, because the Dark Aether changes you over time, he would have been in there for a very long time at this point. And as for the Shadow Man, at the point he was banished into the Dark Aether, his soul was inside of the summoning key in the tag ending, and the key got destroyed, so we don't know if he was banished to the Dark Aether. It's a possibility, or whether the key's destruction also meant the destruction of his soul, or maybe there is a new character in the Dark Aether who has learned of the multiverse. He's seen all of this stuff in there, the Juggernog machine, the Pack-a-Punch machine, the mystery box, and he said, hang on, where has all this stuff come from? He's done research into it and learned that it's all come from a different multiverse that used to exist, and so wants to, for some reason, bring it back. And he's figured out because Dempsey, Takeo, Nikolai, and Richtofen were linked to its existence through the ether, absorbing their Dark Aether essence is a way to bring it back. But again, why or who would want to bring back the multiverse? For what purpose? I can't really think of one, unless it has something to do with the cycle, which would bring me back to Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man. Maybe it's one of the Elder Gods, perhaps the Forsaken. There is a lot of mystery surrounding this right now and how they're going to come back, because it wasn't supposed to be possible. Their deaths, unlike everyone else, was supposed to be permanent. Because their souls were bound to the ether, they couldn't exist without one another. We did also see Richtofen holding this device in the Shattered Veil ending, which he says Josiah Shem used to shatter space-time, which is, I said this in my entire storyline video on the map, but I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this. I swear Shem used the Horned Artifact to shatter space-time. Not whatever this is, but just ignoring that, he uses it to escape the liminal space. But if Richtofen's figured out how to shatter space-time, which was the exact thing Primus and Ultimus did back in the old timeline, resulting in the Undead Outbreak, could we shatter space-time again, resulting in a fracturing that could ultimately lead to the return of Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey. Obviously, Richtofen still exists right now in this current form, even though it's not the same version we saw as Ultimus or Primus. This was a different, innocent version of Richtofen, even though I would say he's grown up to be pretty much like his older selves, more so Primus. The version of Samantha is still the same we saw in BO3 and 4, and World at War 1 and 2 before she was restored of her innocence. But yeah, I just saw how the storyline ended in Shattered Veil with the Sentinel Artifact and what Sam told us it can do, and thought maybe the Sentinel Artifact will be used, whether it be in the next map, DLC 4, or the supposed DLC 5 if that happens, in the final Black Ops 6 map, to bring back Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey. The final thing I will mention is, of course, Takeo's voice actor, Tom Kane, did have a stroke. He's retired now, so Takeo wouldn't have the same voice actor. They'd have to find someone who can do a similar impression, but that has been a regular occurrence in Call of Duty as of late, voice actors being replaced. Some have done better jobs than others. Peck, for example, I think sounds almost identical to his original, but maybe because it's not the exact same version of Takeo, Troy could get away with using a different voice actor. If he's a different age, his voice could sound slightly different. Anyway, there we go, I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts on the return of these characters in Black Ops 7, and what do you think is going to bring them back if these leaks are true. Drop a like rating if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.